It was supposed to be a routine hearing. Quiet, predictable, nothing out of the ordinary. But the moment Hazel stepped through those courtroom doors, the entire room felt it, a shift in the air so sharp it made people straighten in their seats. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't nervous. She was focused. Too focused. And in her hand, a thin black folder that every instinct said should not exist. The judge paused mid-sentence. The attorneys froze mid-page. And Blueface, he stopped breathing for a full second. Hazel walked forward slowly, her heels echoing like countdown ticks in a bomb sequence. She stopped at the center, lifted her chin, and said the 5 words that detonated the entire courtroom. "Your Honor, I have evidence." A murmur shot through the crowd. Christine's eyes widened, her chest tightening as if her ribs were suddenly too small to hold her heartbeat. Blueface looked down, jaw locked, trying not to show the terror rising up his spine. And then, Hazel opened the folder. Inside were text messages, messages no one believed actually existed. Messages powerful enough to expose secrets, break relationships, and flip the entire story upside down. And what happened next, no one in that courtroom was ready for. The moment Hazel opened that black folder, the courtroom seemed to shrink. Not physically, emotionally. It was like every wall leaned in, every breath tightened, and every heartbeat synced into a single, heavy silence. People didn't just watch, they stared, frozen, terrified of what they were about to hear. Even the judge shifted in his seat, and judges never shift. They are trained to stay neutral, stay steady, stay above the chaos. But this was different. This wasn't normal evidence. This wasn't routine paperwork. This was something no one had seen coming. Hazel didn't rush. She took her time flipping through those pages, letting everyone feel the pressure build. Blueface tried not to look, but his eyes betrayed him, darting toward the folder, then away, then back again. He looked like a man bracing for impact. The kind of impact that doesn't just ruin your day, it ruins your entire existence. Christine sat stiffly, her nails digging into her palm. She wasn't crying, not yet, but anyone could see she was one sentence away from collapsing. Her legs shook uncontrollably under the table, her chest rising and falling too fast for someone trying to appear strong. She wasn't here for drama. She wasn't here for clout. She was here to hear the truth, whatever it was, and the truth was already hurting her before it was even spoken. Finally, Hazel lifted the first printed page. "You should hear this," she said softly, but her voice sliced through the room like a blade. "It's important." The attorney cleared his throat, motioning for her to hand the documents over, but Hazel didn't move. Instead, she read aloud, slowly, deliberately. "Don't say anything yet. She isn't supposed to know." Gasps. Actual gasps echoed through the room. Not dramatic movie gasps, real ones. The kind that escape before you even realize you're reacting. Blueface's head dropped lower, his fingers twisting together until the knuckles turned white. He whispered something under his breath, too quiet to catch, but whatever it wasn't confidence. It wasn't denial. It was fear. Christine blinked hard, her eyes burning. She leaned back slightly as if the words hit her physically. People behind her exchanged glances, unsure whether to feel sympathy or prepare for an emotional meltdown right in front of them. Hazel continued. "He told me it was handled, that she wouldn't find out, that everything was under control." Another ripple went through the crowd. A reporter in the back actually stood up, instinctively reaching for a notebook. A bailiff glared at him to sit down. The judge leaned forward now, elbows on the bench, eyebrows raised. Even he couldn't hide the curiosity anymore. It was rare, almost unheard of, for a judge to look that invested. "Ms. Hazel," he said cautiously, "are these verified communications?" "Yes," she responded without hesitation. "Time-stamped. Saved. And backed up." Blueface finally snapped, shaking his head. "This is taken out of context," he muttered, barely holding his composure. "You don't know what you're doing." Hazel shot him a cold, controlled look. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing." Her calmness made it worse. Calm people are dangerous in moments like this. Calm means they are confident. Calm means they aren't bluffing. Calm means they have more. Christine swallowed hard, her throat visibly tightening. "Is this about me?" she asked, voice soft, cracking. Hazel didn't answer directly. She simply held the page up, tilting it forward so the light caught it. Everyone could see the messages printed in bold black ink. Not everything was visible, but enough was. Blueface attorney tried to intervene. "Your Honor, We request that this be reviewed privately before. No, Krizin said suddenly, voice trembling but firm. No more secrets. Read it. Everyone stared at her. Even Hazel paused. Blueface head snapped up, his eyes wide with panic. Krizin, don't. Read. It, she repeated. Hazel hesitated for half a second, then read the next line. Last week can't get out. You promised. That was it. The sentence that shattered whatever was left of Krizin's composure. She covered her mouth, trying to hold in the sob that escaped anyway. Tea spilled instantly, not slow or dramatic, just raw. Painful. Embarrassing. The kind you can't control even in a room full of strangers. Blueface reached slightly toward her, then pulled his hand back at the last second, as if touching her might make everything worse. Maybe he knew he no longer had the right. The courtroom felt haunted now, heavy, suffocating, every second stretching into hours. No one dared to move. No one dared to speak. Because everyone knew. This was only the beginning. There were more messages. More secrets. And whatever happened last week was going to blow everything wide open. The room was holding its breath, but Hazel wasn't done, not even close. She slowly lowered the first page and lifted another, thicker sheet with highlighted sections. The kind of highlighting people only use when they are preparing for war. Blueface saw it and visibly flinched. His shoulders tensed, his jaw clenched so tight the muscle near his ear twitched. He knew what was coming before anyone else did. Hazel inhaled, steady and controlled. There's more, she said quietly. Krizin looked up, her eyes puffy, red, and desperate. She wanted answers, needed them, but deep down, she already feared the truth. You could see it in the way she sat on the edge of her seat, caught between bracing for impact and silently hoping it wasn't as bad as it sounded. Hazel began reading again. You said you'd deal with her. You said she wouldn't show up. A wave of whispers washed over the courtroom. Someone in the back muttered, "Deal with who?" Another person hissed, "Was he threatening her?" Nobody knew, and that uncertainty only made the tension worse. Blueface finally snapped, slamming his palm against the table. "This is manipulated. You don't know what you're talking about." The judge narrowed his eyes. "Mr. Porter, control yourself." Hazel didn't even flinch. "I didn't write these," she reminded him. "You did." Blueface looked away, breathing heavily, chest rising and falling with Bella-contained anger, or fear. It was hard to tell anymore. Then Hazel lifted the final message on the page. "It's done. Don't contact me again unless she finds out." Krizin's breath caught. Her hands dropped into her lap, limp, defeated. She wasn't crying now. She was numb. And numb is worse. Numb means the damage has gone deeper than the surface. Numb means the heart has stopped trying to fight. For the first time all day, Blueface didn't try to interrupt. He didn't deny. He didn't look at anyone. He stared at a single spot on the table, eyes unfocused, nearly shaking as if the world around him was collapsing inward. Hazel folded the page neatly, almost too calmly, like she had practiced this moment over and over. Then she placed the next sheet on top, but stopped before turning it toward the judge. "It doesn't end there," she said. "These texts, they connect to a conversation that was recorded." Gasps broke out instantly. The word recorded hit the room like a bomb. One of the reporters actually dropped his pen. A guard instinctively stepped forward as if preparing for chaos. Even the judge leaned back, stunned, his eyes widening despite his years of keeping a straight face. "A recording?" he asked carefully. "Of what?" Hazel hesitated, for the first time. Not out of fear, but out of awareness. She knew the weight of what she was about to reveal. She knew it could ruin reputations, break relationships, and shift the entire narrative. She opened her mouth. But before she could speak, the courtroom door creaked open. Everyone turned. A woman stepped inside, hood up, sunglasses on, head down. But the resemblance was unmistakable. Whispers rushed through the room like wildfire. "That's Hazel's cousin. She wasn't supposed to be here. Why did she show up now?" Hazel's eyes widened. Blueface's face drained of color. Krizin sat up straighter, as if the presence of this woman was an unexpected clue she didn't know she needed. The cousin walked to the back row and sat silently, clutching something in her jacket pocket. Something small. Something shaped like a phone, or a USB drive. Hazel looked shaken now, but only slightly. She cleared her throat and faced the judge. "The recording," she said, "wasn't captured by me." Every head in the room turned toward the cousin. Silence. Heavy. Suspicious. Cold. Blueface stiffened. His leg began bouncing under the table, a sign of panic he couldn't control anymore. Chrisine whispered, barely audible, "What recording?" Hazel looked her in the eyes and answered quietly, "The one that proves who knew and who lied." The cousin finally lifted her head. And for the first time, the courtroom realized the real truth hadn't even started yet. The cousin's presence twisted the energy of the courtroom into something darker, something electric. She didn't speak. She didn't gesture. She just sat there, hood low, glasses reflecting the courtroom lights, holding onto that small object in her pocket like it was the only thing keeping the truth from spilling out too fast. Hazel glanced back at her, just for a second, and that single glance said everything. Fear. Tension. A silent warning. The cousin didn't react. She didn't even blink. She just stared ahead, still as a shadow, like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Blueface finally spoke, voice low and strained. "I don't know what this is," he said, but even he didn't sound convinced by his own words. His throat was tight, his voice cracking at the edges. "I never agreed to any recording." The cousin raised her head the tiniest bit, as if acknowledging him without actually revealing her face. That tiny movement sent a shiver through the room. People leaned forward, whispering under their breath, trying to decode who she was, what she brought, and why she looked like she was carrying the final piece of a puzzle no one knew existed. Chrisine couldn't hold back anymore. "Just play it," she whispered, her voice trembling but determined. "Whatever it is, I need to hear it." Hazel stiffened. "It's not that simple." "Why?" Chrisine asked, her eyes locked on Hazel's. "What's on it?" Hazel hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "The recording doesn't show what you think it does. It's not one-sided." Blueface shot her a sharp look. "What does that mean?" Hazel didn't answer. Instead, she looked at the cousin again. That was the cue. The cousin reached slowly into her jacket pocket, pulling out a small USB drive. She held it between two fingers, lifting it just enough for the judge to see. The room inhaled sharply, as if everyone shared the same lungs. "That," Hazel said softly, "is the recording." The judge motioned for an officer to retrieve it, but the cousin held it back, tightening her grip. "Not yet," she said, her voice soft but steady. "You need context first." Her voice was calm, controlled, almost unnervingly composed. It didn't match the chaos swirling around the room. The judge frowned. "If you have evidence relevant to this hearing." "It's relevant," she interrupted. "But if you play it without understanding what led to it, you'll misinterpret everything." Blueface rubbed his forehead, eyes squeezed shut, as if he could feel himself slipping deeper into a situation he couldn't escape. "This is ridiculous," he muttered. "You're all twisting things." The cousin looked directly at him for the first time. "Are we?" The silence that followed was suffocating. Chrisine leaned forward. "Please," she whispered. "Tell me what this is about. I'm tired of guessing." The cousin sighed slowly, then spoke. "The messages Hazel showed, they aren't the whole story. There were conversations happening behind the scenes, conversations none of you were supposed to know about." Hazel shifted uncomfortably, but didn't deny it. The cousin continued. "Someone was feeding information. Someone was creating confusion. And that recording," she held up the USB again, "captures a conversation between two people trying to decide how much truth to reveal and how much to hide." The room exploded into whispers. Two people. Who? What were they hiding? Chrisine covered her mouth. "Was it me?" she asked, terrified of the answer. "No," the cousin replied. "But it was someone close to you." Blueface sat up straighter, eyes wide. "Who?" he demanded. The cousin didn't answer. She simply lowered the USB into her palm and placed it gently on the bench beside her. "It's all here," she said. "Everything. But once you hear it, nothing in this room will stay the same." The judge stared at the small device like it was a ticking time bomb. Everyone waited. Everyone braced. Because whatever was on that recording was about to rip open the truth in a way no message ever could. And now that everything has unfolded right here in front of you, the only question left is, what do you think really happened? Because this story isn't over, not even close. We're standing on the edge of something bigger, darker, and way more twisted than anyone expected. A USB drive, hidden conversations, messages that were never supposed to surface, and a recording that could flip the entire truth upside down. But before the next chapter drops, I need to hear your take. Do you believe the messages Hazel brought were real, or were they part of a setup? Do you think Blueface was hiding something, or is he being trapped in someone else's game? And that cousin, why did she show up with evidence at the exact moment the truth was falling apart? Coincidence or calculation? Your theories matter. Seriously, every comment helps piece together this mess, because right now, the internet is divided and nobody knows who to trust. So drop your thoughts below, no filter, no holding back. Tell me who you think is lying, who you think is scared, and who you think is about to get exposed next. And listen, if you want the next part, the moment that recording gets played, hit that like button so this video gets pushed out to everyone who needs to see it. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because the next chapter is coming. And when it hits, you're going to want to be the first to hear it. This story is spiraling fast, secrets are cracking open, and the truth is about to get louder than ever. Stay locked in, stay watching, and get ready, because the real explosion is still on its way.